Lucky Lefty Podcast. Honora Boys in the building. Brought to you by Honora Whiskey. HonoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey. HonoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it, left. That's right. Honora Boys in the building. I am Sean Davis, SD2 Mics. That dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK'S ZAIRE. We are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, courtesy of Bleav Network. Audio, edibles, each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go ahead, lock in, tap in for automatic downloads. We greatly appreciate it. Also, tap in because we are presented by FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Go to the FanDuel app and you can get all of your sport book needs, man. Stuff like tonight's Monday night matchup with MALIK'S Jags. MALIK'S Jags.
That's right. 3-1, second in
are about the MALIK'S Jags are 3.5 point underdogs.
Whoa. Hey, listen.
At home tonight. Hey, wait, don't get mad. I'm just telling you what they're underdogs at home by 3.5.
Don't let
I'm just
Vegas
telling
fool
you
you.
what's at FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app for all of your needs, including Notre Dame football. Well, Notre Dame will be welcoming in. You know we're going to have our boy Ken Gibbs on this week. You know we're going to have our boy K Gibbs on this week.
Every day. It should be every day.
I'm going to let K Gibbs and Malik are gonna go at it every day. I think K Gibbs is gonna be very solid.
Quarterback, you know what? We gonna put it out there. We don't care nothing about who y'all got going on over there. No, you gotta come see us now, Mr. Ken Gibbs.
So what if I told you that Notre Dame is favored by more points against North Carolina State than they were against Boise State?
Well, I would say that Boise State was a playoff team last year. What is NC State? That's the wrong.
Notre Dame is a 22.5 point favorite against the Wolfpack this week.
And that's 22.5. That's the floor. A couple more press conferences. Marcus Freeman get to saying, speaking his bravado, it might jump up 5 points, 10 points. You never know.
That cat left. Man, tap in over at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app, FanDuel.com. How you feeling, man? How was your weekend, Left?
Great weekend of football, man. The kids are starting to understand. You know what I'm saying? When you turn on the ND game, it's no more Peppa the Pig time. You know what I mean? I'm thankful and grateful we got more than one TV because they go to the other room to see it, but They hanging around a little bit more in the room. They seeing the green and gold. They seeing the touchdowns. They asking how Marcus Freeman going off on the sideline. What's that about? You know what I mean? They seeing it. They seeing it. So it's a good weekend for Notre Dame. NFL games were good too. Dak Prescott looking like an MVP. I like that. And Jacksonville playing today. We got to beat what they say is one of the best teams in the league, what they say. But the way we've been playing, we deserve Monday Night Football. That's all I'm going to say. We deserve the stage for Monday Night Football. That's all I'm going to say. Not the Chiefs.
I like how your signal started messing up when you started talking about the Jaguars. Immediately, when you started talking about the Jaguars, your signal started dropping. It's almost like the God, God knew this doesn't need to be spoken.
We on our way. It's all good. Second in the division.
So today, top. We're going to hear from Marcus Freeman, and we're going to hear from him talking about getting some well-needed reserves for the tight end room coming soon. Maybe in another week or two. That's pleasant news on the roster front. We'll hear him talk about the game, what upset him about the game. He didn't talk about the officiating today. He spoke about it very PG-like in the immediate aftermath of the game. But let's just say, Left, that was one of the worst officiated games I've seen in my life.
It was rough, and we was at home. I almost had to check.
Oh, it was
in.
It was bad.
Some of the calls were so bad. You know, the calls were bad when they play them in slow-mo, and it just looks even worse. Usually, slow-mo never is in the advantage of somebody, but the slow-mo makes it even worse.
Bro, the Jason Onye joint was bad.
Was the worst call I've ever seen in my. What is he supposed to do? I mean, oh my goodness! Not only did he
levitate,
not only did he not hit the dude, man, that one, and then it was one this weekend. I think it was it was a bad one this weekend. Maybe it was against somebody, but the dude ran, had a free sack, and just kind of pushed him over. And they threw a roughing the passer. Oh, that was in the Saints game or something like that. Oh my God, it was probably the worst call ever. But the Jason Onye call was egregiously bad because I don't understand that. Even if you review the call, you can still change it. I don't know how they just was so. No, we this was a bad call. We just gonna move on. And then it was the roughing the passer call when Talek didn't even touch him out of bounds before they threw the flag. Like Talek was on the ground. The quarterback was standing up and they called a roughing the passer? I mean, no. What was it? Hitting him out of bounds? I'm like, wait a minute. And the slow-mo was bad on that one.
They called Bronte Johnson grabbed the quarterback or grabbed the ball carrier inbounds. He was inbounds and threw him out of bounds, and they threw a flag. Eli Raritan barely touched the defensive back, and they called offensive pass interference.
It was terrible.
The worst of the worst might have been, I keep this a buck. I think it was a 4th down. Boise State runs off left tackle. And the running back is obviously half a yard short of the spot. She's short of the line. They spot him over the line. And he was short of the actual line. And I said, dude,
it was getting ridiculous.
This is just awful, man. It was awful. I said, man, this is bad.
I'm just thankful they didn't affect the game in its totality. You know what I mean? Where it was like that was the game deciding call, or it changed momentum. We played pretty dominantly. Even the scoreboard, you got to think we missed out on 7 points having CJ lead block on the 1 yard line. So I'm in my mind. It was another 7 tatted on that scoreboard. Probably the most insane call I've ever seen.
We're going to hear Marcus Freeman talk about the short yardage. The short yardage plan this year has been
it's atrocious.
It's unserious.
It's so unserious. Okay, that's
it is so unserious. It is so you cannot be serious in trying to convert short yardage with CJ Carr.
We had to have a real
with CJ Carr being your primary ball carrier or CJ Carr being your primary blocker.
Or you sending him all the way to the sideline where you lose a blocker. I mean, we have done everything to make it look really bad. Like, I've seen other teams run it, other teams do direct snap and all of that. We're doing it too much. You know, I've seen it put in, but we're doing it way too much. And it's like, dude, these aren't even good calls. Like, what are we talking about? We're taking a shotgun snap on the 1 yard line. Really? Like, we're to the point where we got a direct snap. It was just too much. It was too much. Because you saw what Boise State did. What did Boise State do? Line up, run duo, right down the gut. Like, ain't.
That's all they could do. That's all they could do. They didn't have much they could do. You know what? We're going to hear from Marcus Freeman, but we're going to do something rare this week on a Monday. We're actually going to listen to the opposing head coach from his press conference. Because Spencer Danielson, ladies and gentlemen, I love the man. I love the man, but he said some things. He is a great man of faith. I'll just leave it at that. Left, he has tremendous faith. He is he's a man of God.
I'm telling
great
you,
man of faith.
Jesus
great leader. Great leader, gives hope to his players. But he said some things in the aftermath that I was like, Coach, come on, man. Come on, man.
It was a campus tour. He had a campus tour. He saw the grotto. That brother said, man, I had an experience at Notre Dame. It wasn't just a game for me.
I give him credit. He was like, no, we didn't come here. We didn't come here to visit and view the history. We came here to win. I'm like, okay.
I don't believe that. Not the way you speaking about that. Not the way you speak.
I mean, I
thought he was asking Marcus Freeman for a gig. I thought he was like, man, just bring me on over to the staff, man. Just.
I'm like, Coach, I know that's what you're supposed to say. I know that's what you're supposed to say. But look, I'm just going to allow him to speak and allow the Notre Dame fans, if they have not heard it or seen it, just to kind of tap into it. It was good stuff. He actually put up a great public service announcement why Notre Dame is a great team. He did that. Before we get to Marcus Freeman and Malik's recap of his 3 keys and the takeaways from the game, since we had to start off with the officiating, let me start off by saying, for the second straight week, I don't think Penn State fans will be jumping on our show. For the second straight week.
Take a break. Come back week.
I just
week
don't
9.
see it.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
No,
and can I put Joe Clatt on the petty train? I put Joe Clatt on the petty train. I let him slide last week because last week he did this long video about, Drew Aller not being an RPO quarterback, and they did a terrible job marrying the quarterback to the system and this, that, and the other and all of that. I let it slide. I let it slide. This week, he comes out with this long video about Drew Aller was the best player on the field for Penn State and all of this and all of that.
Lies.
He's been the weak link for an offense for 3 years, bro.
Yeah. He literally lost. He lost them to Notre Dame and the Oregon game himself. Like literally had the key play, and his play during the whole Notre Dame game was atrocious. But he specifically in that game, just like in the Oregon game, is the crucial reason, the game-ending pick. I mean, he's definitely playing like a Browns quarterback, but I don't think he should be taken that high as a Browns quarterback.
He's playing like a Cincinnati Bengals quarterback right about now, too.
Okay, timeout. First of all, you taking a couple bad games from the guy who literally just had the most passing yards in the league?
First of all, Jake Browning is the current Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. So
yes,
let me restate. Let me say it again.
Placeholder.
He stinks. So therefore,
what's he supposed to do? Outperform Joe Burrow?
Be better.
Timeout.
Be better than garbage.
Teams aren't built like that.
Be better than garbage. Be better than garbage.
They got to stop running routes. He's not even running routes no more. So what are you gonna do with that?
Recap your 3 keys brought to you by Nora Whiskey. How does your 3 keys play out? I have to keep you on track, bro.
Defensively, I thought we took away Boise State's best thing. And we also applied a lot of pressure where their quarterback, whether he was sacked or not, still made some mistakes. Half due to pressure, but I think, our stars showed up defensively. Snead showed up. Leonard Moore showed up with his 2 picks. Talek be making plays, man. Whenever he get in, he make a play or 2.
Yeah, people hate on Luke Talek, but every time he gets in, he finds the ball.
He is by the football, for sure. By the football. Our linebackers played well. I thought the D-line has some life in terms of Traore being a guy that we look to. He's starting to come along where I thought he should have been more impactful the first 2 games, but and then we're playing better as a unit defensively. So I think it's just from that standpoint, that key was there. Offensively, I just thought we just get too cute and too comfortable at times. And we're not, I don't think we're running well enough, long enough to start doing cute stuff in times where we need to start crushing teams. Defense turns it on and it stays on. Offense, we like to be like, okay, let's show them this, and for our next trick, and we're gonna do this. When we really start dialing it in, it's very simple stuff. And I'm glad the audio came out where even the receiver groups with Mike Brown was talking about it. Just throw it again. Just do it again, right? Like, we don't have to call a new play or reach in the bag. Just do it again. And usually those plays are just throwing the simple stuff, like a fade ball. That's CJ's moniker right now. So when we get on the 1 yard line, we're not looking for him to lead block. It's cute. It's cool. It might make the highlights, but come on. Don't overthink it, like Mike Brown famously said. So what did they do? They threw the fade to get down there, and they threw the fade to get in the touchdown. Same size, same play, clear out one-on-one. We're not mistaken. And that's the football that Notre Dame needs to play or take advantage of, because we're at that point offensively where we can do the simple things and make it look good. These offensive coordinators these days got to do all type of trick 'em and dick 'em and new ways to run the same thing and all these motions and cute stuff and running, receivers through the B gap and C gap. That's great. But for where we are offensively and what makes us so potent is that we can say, all right, we're going to line up in heavy run set, get one-on-one with Malachi Fields and just throw him the ball. Most teams can't do that. So when Mike Brown and the receivers and the offense and the fans are like, dude, why are we making this so complicated? It's because we can do such simple things like, all right, let's just throw a swing route to Jadarian Price in the middle of the field. Let's just hand the ball off left to Jeremiah Love. Get one of them little pulling guards. Let's just get Jordan Faison to crack down on a guy. We just toss it outside. Like, that's simple. I mean, it's laughable at this point what Jadarian Price is doing on the football. It's laughable. It's laughable because it's like, dude, you're not supposed to be that good. That's the running joke. Why Jadarian is having so much success is because everybody is saying, dude, you're not supposed to be that good when you have that good of a player in front of you. Like, it's funny how, like, it don't matter what we give you at this point. You don't even have to play most of the game. We put you in 4 times, 3 of them were touchdowns, long runs, explosive plays. You change the offense. Like, it's crazy. People are like, dude, are you a top 5 running back? Yes, we might have 2 top 5 running backs. First time ever, maybe in college football history, where you have 2 legitimate top 5, like, can't name 5 dudes better than those 2. Not just a good room where you're productive, where it's like, okay, one guy might get drafted first round, the other good guy might get drafted 4th round. No. You have 2 legit first round draft picks. I mean, at this point, Jadarian Price has made himself like, if I don't get some looks at least at the first round, that's crazy. Because, I mean, the tape is just like, dude, we're literally throwing swings and just handing inside runs, and he's just running through tackles. I don't want to say it's more impressive than Jeremiah Love, but oh my God, it's just wow. And then that's all good, and then you got CJ doing his thing. So it's like, don't get cute then, Brock. I don't ever want to see another direct snap. I'll be good. I feel like we can all agree we will be good if we never see CJ ever leave the quarterback spot to do something else. Maybe the only trick play I want to see him do is fake like he got to talk to the sideline and then we throw it deep or something. One of them. I don't want to see him shifting. I don't want to see him calling over the guy to come run behind him. I don't want to see him inserting into the A gap or B gap to block incoincidentally, or because he gonna go because he's a good teammate. Put his head in. But because those are the type of plays where it'd be something stupid and he'd roll his ankle or something stupid. And he'd be like, why would you even be in a position like that, let alone the 1 yard line? We got Jadarian Price on the team. Why is he not on the field? Can we just how about this? If we getting that cute, let's just have Jeremiah Love under center, Jadarian Price and Aeneas Williams in I formation, and we just do all short yardage that way. Since we can't seem to want to give CJ the ball to do anything else. We don't even want to, you know what I mean? Like, good grief. But we have enough talent, and it's just we have too much talent to be so unsuccessful and confused on short yardage. When we're running 50, 60-yard touchdowns, breaking 6-7 tackles in the hole, jumping over people, and then we're getting short yardage and act like it's Yale. Like we're doing a trigonometry exam or something. Like, oh my God, dude, just it's funny, but like in a serious game, like a more tight game, that matters. You know what I mean? That matters. This dude doing this versus Boise State, okay, we can laugh at it because it doesn't impact us. But if we're playing Georgia, I don't want to see CJ running out to the receiver slot. I don't want to see. Oh my goodness. So yeah, if we get rid of that, we probably could have scored another 50 points. Seriously, we could have scored another 50 points, but we roll with the punches. They've been good sports about it.
You know what's crazy? And I'll because I'm gonna give like a recruiting report from the game I went to on Saturday night. Friday night. Shout out to Cal Kelly. Man, I got a chance to meet Cal Kelly for the first time face to face from On3. Super cool dude. Super cool dude. I didn't know he went to Northwestern University. So Chicago ties and yeah. Super cool dude, man. It was a great game, great atmosphere. And I'll give a report on some great conversations I had with some recruits and their parents and where I think Notre Dame stands with some kids. But I saw Mount Carmel try to run the same play that Notre Dame ran on Friday night, and they got 2 procedural penalties on the same play.
Don't tell me when I saw
it was short yardage. And when I saw Notre Dame line up and get a penalty trying it the first time and try to bring it right back 2 plays later, I'm like, what are we doing?
That's the Denbrock spending too much time in the office, man. It's like you got to go home.
No. You know what it is? You know what it is? See, Mike Denbrock has Mattinitis. He has Mattinitis. You know what that is, right, Lev? When you can run, when you can just
run anything he's gonna do.
You can just run the same 3 plays on AI and
the computer
all day long. And you just say to yourself, man, I'm tired of running the same 3 plays. Let me just
call something. Let me see.
Yeah, let me try this. Because dude, we could kill Boise State running the same 3 plays.
The same plays, left, right,
same 3 plays. Absolutely. And he's just like, man, let me just try something. Let me see if this works.
That's what I said. I think he's trying to make the highlights that they talk about. He pulled this out of the bag.
I'll give you a perfect example. Lev. You're up 28-7. You just got back-to-back interceptions defensively. And I know Marcus Freeman knows we need to have style points right now. We need to dominate points.
Yeah.
They get the ball back with 4:52 on the clock. And literally, they could just run the ball down Boise State's throat.
Literally.
And this dude comes out and tries to run an end around to Jordan. Jordan Faison. And I'm like, come on, what are we doing, man? What are we doing for like a 5-yard loss? I'm like, Denbrock, what are we doing? And then literally, he go on like 3rd and long, he goes play action, and Michael Gilbert is like 5 yards behind the DBs, and CJ underthrows. I'm like, we could have did that. Could have been the first down call.
We
Let's
could
do
have
that on first down
or something. Yeah, like
yes.
He just be. I swear.
Marcus Freeman wants to score. It's obvious he wants to score. Obvious. That's why when they got the ball back at the end, Marcus Freeman just threw up the V like victory formation, dude. Like,
yeah, like
let's not even.
Today, bro. You do it too.
Yeah, dude. I swear, Denbrock says he's happy that he has his actual real playbooks out.
Yeah,
and he's getting too happy because he's going to like the back pages. Like, bro, this is a very simple approach. He's on the extra, offensive.
He's on the extra, like he's on the extra notes that he writes in at the bottom. These ain't even the plays that is on a laminated sheet. These are the ones he just script down in the corner. Like, I'm gonna just pull it out on him because it's jokes. Like you said, the plays that he calls when he calls it makes it funny because it's like we don't. It's like, okay, I see what you was doing there, but come on, man, you trying to keep up with the Joneses with these calls. Don't get bored doing the successful stuff. I know you seeing these highlights. Man, that coordinator put it together. Double reverse.
You know what made it worse? This is what made it worse, Left. The Notre Dame game ends. I turn over, and UCLA runs the play correctly. And I said, this is how you know you need to put this play away. Yeah. UCLA is running it correctly.
In 2 days of preparation.
It's not even for us. Just leave it alone.
That's not the way we're supposed to win.
They need these type of desperation plays. We do
not need those plays.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
Get back to. I think because he's probably looking at it like that swing pass to Jadarian, and he run 50 yards to the end zone. He like, man, they not gonna give me no.
No one's gonna get. Nobody's gonna give me credit for that.
For that call, for that.
That's exactly about that.
That's exactly it. They ain't gonna talk about that. He gotta do this in a better way because I'm just. Come on, man. He's just left and right calls. I ain't gonna get no. I ain't gonna look good off of that. I was doing the double post with LSU.
Hey, outside zone, counter trade, come back, waggle the Faison. Oh, okay, let's throw a screen. Oh, we'll hit Eli. And pop. We're just literally calling your basic John Madden 1996 playbook.
And it works so well.
And it works so well because of the talent. The talent.
Out formation. We don't got
players were telling him, dude, just do it again. Just
do it again. Yeah.
Do it again.
People know. I told you when offenses get so good, it's like, dude, just throw me a go ball. That's how simple the conversations are. We don't need to think outside the box. Why? If they can't stop outside left, outside right, don't get bored. We're supposed to run it up. Denver, we can't run it to 60 with basic calls. That's what it is. We just put that out there. Denver is not comfortable enough to just run it 60 times on basic plays to get all these points because it just wouldn't look cool enough. The analysts after the game, post game, they like they gonna be tired of showing I formation run left. This ain't the 60s. They want to see the double eyes and I gotta study how he put this together. Denver wants some of that credit. I get it though, but we don't need it. Let that go to UCLA or Clemson or one of these other programs that are on fire. Because the defense, what defense do? They said we going straight lockdown. We ain't gonna get all cute. We ain't calling 6 different coverages on the same drive. We're not doing that. What did defense do? Just lock down, play who we are. We went back to some man, pressured the quarterback a little bit more. I mean, good stuff. I just think it's funny that we see Denbrock trying when he doesn't need to. He wants it. He's like, dude, we gonna get this double flea flicker reverse behind the back shift direct snap call at some point in the game. It don't matter if it's a big game or a game we supposed to win by 100. He's going to call it. And I think that's funny.
I'm not mad. Hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Because it's not really harming anything at this point.
And do waggle right, and run up the gut a couple times and then throw a deep post. And he's like, all right, settle down. I got to bring these plays back out. He can get back on track, but he can get off track as well.
Shout out to Mike Denbrock. Shout out to Mike Denbrock. Hey, so, hey.
You gotta stop watching Ben Johnson.
Hey, your boy Chris Ash might be strutting around like a peacock.
Man,
unintended.
The fan base don't want to eat crow that fast, so they just like slow leaking it. They slow leaking the praise because they know they would have to eat a ton of crow because they was talking too much on such a short resume. 3 games, guys. 3 games. Look, he done gave 7 points up. He done gave to a playoff team last year, by the way. He done shut down the top 5 offense of that time to 13 points at home. Come on. I know we miss Al Golden. Well, we just fine now. Because, we had a lot of criticism for Chris Ash. He ain't come to the podium either. He just kind of said, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to give you the coach speak. So shout out to Chris Ash. I said he was doing his thing, man, and it's you can tell we're having fun on the team. I think that's the biggest thing you can point out. We're as a unit, offense and defense, you can see us having fun. Especially with these play calls. The coaches are clearly having fun. We're having fun winning. Marcus Freeman's getting animated, doing his thing. And I understand why he was pissed. Because I know after them calls, he trying to talk to the refs, and the refs are just so like matter of factish. Like, okay, coach, we got it. We know what we're doing. And he's just like, man, come on, man, this is crazy. He's like, I know you're watching this. I love it. I wish they showed.
You know what I love about Coach Freeman? You know what I love about Coach Freeman? He controls the direction of his anger.
Oh, absolutely.
So to make sure that he's not insulting, he talks, but he looks away from the official. He points down. He points down instead of pointing at them like most coaches. I'm like, okay, you trying to avoid the penalty. I respect especially understand, but every now and then you got to look a man in his eye and let him know.
Side by side. He walking side by side and pointing down. He ain't want to point at him. He's slamming the ground, but he ain't looking at him, but he's walking next to him. He letting you know. I'm talking to you, but I ain't talking to you, man. I like it. Because he get.
I don't want the cameras to catch me.
That's right.
Look you in your face. Right.
He'll walk off all cool, and then he'll come back and give you one more. He'll give you one more. He's like, "Come on, dog. This ain't right. This ain't right." See, Brian Kelly didn't have a finesse. Brian Kelly, an open screen, turn colors, all in the ref face, so the pictures look bad. Marcus Freeman, every time you probably catch a steal, he mad, but he ain't looking at the ref. He media trained like the well ones are.
Man, Lefty podcast. So, who stood out for you on the defensive side of the ball? I had a couple of people that stood out. Look, we said this, and unfortunately, Devontae Smith is out for another game. Re-aggravated his calf strain, but Dallas Golden is getting better.
Tay Johnson's
Boise State had a Tay Johnson. Let's talk about it, bro.
I'm telling you,
hit stick multiple times on Saturday. The athleticism and left. I know you like it and you prefer it in the trenches, but he talks that talk.
Oh yeah,
he talks that talk.
What he said, Jalen Smith was the reason why he wears number 9. I said that's all I need to know. Once he said, yeah, me and him, and they both from Fort Wayne. I said, oh yeah, he's good. And then what he go out there and do? Get a pick stick, get a pick, make some impactful plays. You look good back there. Looks good. Great decision by Mike Mickens and Marcus Freeman and the staff for rolling with it, right? You know, everything going bad. It could have easily been like, we're going to let the older guy figure it out, whatever. Tay saw his opportunity. The coaches trusted him. I mean, he's in there. He's in there making more plays. And I don't want to say making more plays than Adam, but he's making his presence known. And I think that's the safeties in general been making a presence known. Luke Tyler, we got to talk about him too. Whenever he get in, he just happened to just make a play.
Well, see, Bronte being Bronte allows a Don to be a Don. Yes. Which means come downhill, impact the run game, wreak havoc, tackles for loss. That is what allows him to do. Yeah. Yes. Jalen Stroman wasn't doing that. Bronte has changed everything.
He makes some good plays, but he's just not consistent enough. Maybe he's a guy that needs another year, but he's not a bad player, but we just happen to have players that play better. I mean, maybe it's a system thing. I don't know.
Man, let me tell you something. We said this defense will get better simply by people getting healthy.
Right.
You got a lockdown corner when he comes back. Being able to lock down half of the field is going to make the defense better.
Right.
It's simple as that. Devontae Smith coming back into the nickel in the slot was going to make the defense better. It's just as simple as that. Them doing the fundamental things was going to make the defense better. It really wasn't rocket science. Now, I don't agree with you that Chris Ash didn't deserve, the vitriol he got from fans. I don't agree with that. I Bleav he deserves every bit of vitriol he got. But I have come to understand, to appreciate what has been. Notre Dame played 1.5 they played 6 awful quarters of football. 6 awful quarters of defense. Awful. 6 awful quarters of defense out of 20. I'm going to say it again. They played 6 awful quarters of defense out of 20. Now, that's not up to Notre Dame standards. Notre Dame fans expect more, but that's the truth of the matter. Outside of Florida, who in my opinion is a top 10 defense, no one has impacted or affected Miami's offense more than Notre Dame did in the first game.
That's right.
As much as you want to complain about what that offense did in the first game, Miami scored 27 points and scored the last 3 in the waning minutes of that game. That's just a fact. I had this conversation with Brian Driscoll. I agree. Notre Dame fans just became spoiled by the past 2 years of defense. Spoiled. I know what the numbers bore out after the first 2 games. I know that. But if Notre Dame plays left, if I told you Notre Dame faces Miami in the playoffs again, and they give up 27 points, would you take it?
We're going to win.
You would absolutely say, if we face Miami again and give up 27 points, we're going to win the game. You would absolutely be like, we're going to win that game. Because you felt like you were going to win that game when they gave up 24. Unfortunately, they gave up a field goal. It's just crazy. Turnovers gave them 10 points. 2 fumbles gave them 10. Well, no. I think they turned them away on a Malachi Field. I can't remember what happened after the Malachi Fields fumble. But definitely the interception gave them a field goal. And look, that Texas A&M game, burn the film. Just burn it. Burn it. The first half against Purdue, burn it. But ever since that first half of Purdue, they played better. Now, in playing better, I said this last week. They're not playing better because of their coach, meaning the defensive coordinator. They're playing better because your best players are finally making plays. See, it doesn't matter. And I say this all the time because I've heard it from previous Notre Dame players that played on defensively under Bob Davie. And their defensive coordinator was Kent Bear. Derek D.C. Curry. Who are the other guys we've had on the show that played under Willingham and Bob Davie?
You had
Derek D.C. Curry.
Mackay.
Yes. All of those guys flat out said, look, man, our DC wasn't smart. And he would call plays and we'd be like, dude, that's a terrible call. But they made up in their minds that they were going to make plays. Somebody in the front four was going to get pressure. Somebody in the secondary was going to make a play on the ball. It was a horrible call, horrible play call, but the players made plays in the midst of the call. Notre Dame's play, Boubacar Traore is starting to be impactful.
Yep.
On a consistent basis with the pass rush. Bronte Johnson is making plays. Christian Gray is playing much better than he played. Leonard Moore is doing his thing. Adon Schuler is making plays. Drake Bowen is finally getting to the quarterback when he blitzes. Kingston is making plays. You have 7 or 8 guys on the defense. Jaden Osbury is making plays. Madden Ferramo dropped the interception, but when he gets in, he makes an impactful play like he did the week before, leading to the Christian Gray interception on his pass breakup. It's that simple. It's that simple. The players are making plays. And I said, second half of Purdue, when they turned on the turnover faucet left, I said, that is a good thing. If you don't see anything else, the fact that the turnover faucet has been turned on, that's what you need to see from this defense, because this defense is never going to be keep you to 75 yards rushing and under 300 total yards every week. That's not what this defense is. Not with the turnover in roster, not with the turnover in leadership, and definitely not with the youngsters in the secondary that are going to make mistakes and be targeted by teams week to week. Boise State, every third down, went after Mark Zachary and Dallas Gold. They motioned and went at the slot, and sometimes they converted, sometimes they didn't, or they did double moves. It is what it is. That's going to be the case for the rest of the year. USC, North Carolina State, Boston College, Pitt, they're going to target your freshman defensive backs in passing situations. It is what it is. And your freshman defensive backs are going to lose in some circumstances. They're going to lose.
Because guess what? They're going to cut on that tape and see them trying Leonard Moore, and what happens? Back-to-back weeks of interceptions.
They're going to stop. I don't know what Maddox Maxson was thinking on Saturday. I have no clue what he was thinking. You throwing a crosser to you against Leonard Moore? You really thought that was going to be open?
To Leonard Moore, like they think that their receiver can win those 50-50s or something. I don't know.
Man, look, this is my issue, bro. When people take remember when the Notre Dame fans were panicking. Oh my God. What's wrong with our secondary? USC put up 35 on our secondary. That's the same secondary that shut Georgia down. Same secondary that shut Indiana down, their passing attack. Same secondary that shut Penn State down. Now, when you go up against elite talent across the board against Ohio State, that's when you need your front four to get some pressure and help you out. And they didn't get it. But without that pressure, in the playoffs against elite teams, that USC game didn't mean a darn thing. And this is what I'm trying to get people to realize. Stop taking the Texas A&M game and just putting that stamp on this defense as if they can't get better, or that just can't be a one-off. Or the 6 awful quarters they played out of 20, and you can't say that's a small sample size. That's not who they're going to be for the rest of the season. Because Lord knows, everybody was panicking at the USC. Oh, USC figured the defense out. Did they? Did they? Or did they just catch Notre Dame in the midst of a lot of defensive injuries and on the back end of a long regular season? What was it? Everybody, I got to see them against USC. Illinois beat the crap out of USC.
Beat the crap out of them. Well,
Illinois fumbled twice inside the 5-yard line, or they would have beat USC by like 20 points. The USC is trash. Illinois walked the ball up and down the field at will. What do you think Notre Dame is about to do?
Let's be honest. USC don't want the run problem. They already
Illinois dog walked USC for 3.5 quarters and turned the ball over, and USC got hot on the last 2 drives and made it a game. I don't foresee the Notre Dame offense or defense making those mistakes. I don't. That's me. I don't need to see this defense against USC. Doesn't matter. That game won't mean a darn thing. It doesn't have any relevance to what this defense needs to look like or is going to look like if they make the playoffs in December. No relevance. Just like them getting blitzed by 35 points 2 weeks before they faced Indiana had no bearing on the performance they were about to put on the field defensively against Indiana. No bearing. USC is no litmus test anymore. They're not. They're not a good team. They're not. That's not a true litmus test. They're not. They're undisciplined offensively. They're not balanced. All they do is throw the ball. That's all they can do. So if you throw the ball 50, 60 times a game, guess what? If you have some wide receivers, you're going to make plays and put up points. But you're not challenging anybody. You're not about to beat Notre Dame just lining up, throwing the ball 50 times. That's not happening. It's not. It's just not. That's not what you're going. USC is not going to be an offense that you see in the playoffs. Everybody in the playoffs is going to have the ability to run the ball and pass the ball. Nobody on this schedule is a true litmus test for what Notre Dame would see offensively in the playoffs. That's the issue. So I want to see them against USC. I want to see them against North Carolina State. Which is funny because 2 weeks ago, people were like, I want to see him do it against Arkansas. He did it.
He did it.
Then you want to move the goalpost. Well, Arkansas sucked. No, they were the 5th best offense in the nation. I don't want to hear that. Don't move the goalpost after they do a good job of holding Arkansas underneath their total yardage and underneath their points per game. And then they go and do even better against Boise State. Well, Boise State is just a trash program. The 5th most winningest program in like the last 6 years, but all of a sudden Boise State is a trash program. Come on, man. Like, we got to stop. We got to stop and learn to just be grateful and stop being negative Nancy's, man. I got to see it against this. I got to see it against that. You ain't going to see it or get a true test until the playoffs. So stop even talking about that. I don't care if they give up 30 points to USC. Means absolutely nothing to do, has absolutely nothing to do with what they're going to do against a playoff team in December. Nothing. Because if it did, it would have meant something last year when USC put up 35 on them. It would have gone over into the Indiana game. It didn't. It would have gone over to the Georgia game. It didn't. When did USC currently constructed become that team? What are you talking about? USC barely beat Purdue if you watch the game. Purdue threw 2 interceptions going in for touchdowns and had a chance to tie the game up in the 4th quarter. Are we really sitting up here talking about I need to see stuff against USC? Come on, man. We got to be better than that, bro. If Chris Ash doesn't impress you, fine. He's still dropping 300-pounders into coverage. He's still asking defensive ends to cover tight ends on third downs and fourth downs. I'm with you. Sometimes I don't know what the heck he's calling as far as play calls, with still 10, 13 yards off the ball in third and 18 situations, just giving away 15 yards so teams can get to a manageable fourth down. I get it. I absolutely get it. I agree. His play calling is questionable.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's questionable. I'm not talking about Chris Ash. I'm talking about how these young men are playing, and they're playing better. Give them credit. Doesn't matter who they're playing. They're playing better. That's all that we need to say. The players are making plays. That's all we need to say. What did we say last week, Left? Boise State does two things. They sack the quarterback, and they don't give up sacks. We said that's the ball game, did we not? They sack the quarterback on defense, and they don't give up sacks.
They don't give up sacks.
That's what happened. Notre Dame protected the quarterback, and they pressured, and they sacked their quarterback. That was the game. We literally said that is the game. This is this team. This is what makes them go and function. They protect the quarterback. They sack the quarterback. And Notre Dame flipped the script. They were the ones that ran the ball, protected the quarterback, and sacked the quarterback. That's that. Let's just say the defensive players are playing better. I don't need to talk about Chris Ash because I don't think anything's going to change. Nothing's going to change. He is who he is. He's going to make some of the most mind-boggling calls in key situations, and we just need the players to make plays. That's it. Kingston's going to have to make some plays. Bubakar's going to have to make some plays. The interior defensive lineman beat up on that second-string center all game long. Just knocked them over, pushed them back. Procedural penalties, all types of stuff. Bad snaps. He was just scared. Jared Dawson just pushed him into the quarterback. They just dominated the poor kid for 4 quarters. That's what you need. You're getting ready to go up against some trash offensive lines. Dominate them just like that. Make plays. I don't care what the play call is for Chris Ash. Make plays. Dominate. If they do that, Love, this team is going to be okay defensively. They're going to be okay. They're going to absolutely. It's not hard to tell Leonard Moore, stick your man. That's not hard. That's not hard. Now, if we get to a point where he's asking Leonard Moore to play 10 yards off the ball, cover 3, cover 4, then that's a conversation. Fans ask for more blitzes, they're blitzing more. Fans ask for more man-to-man, you got more man-to-man. Fans are asking for more aggression, you got more aggression. And Notre Dame players are making plays. Didn't we ask for no? That's what we asked when Adon Shula didn't make a play on the ball against Miami, right? Our players have to be more aggressive. That's what they're doing. They're being more aggressive. They're making plays. I don't care who they're doing it against. I'm speaking for me. I just like the fact that they're doing it. Because if they did it in the second half against Purdue, and then they did it against Arkansas, and then they did it even better, and then, wait a minute, they're building something. They're building something, and they might have an off week moving forward. Didn't CJ Carr just have an off week? Yep. Wasn't his deep ball off against Arkansas as well? Yep. His deep ball was off for the second straight week. So Notre Dame is going to have another off week defensively, more than likely. What does that mean? It does not erase how they've gotten better and how these players are performing. Have your folly, have your angst, have your disappointment with Chris Ash. I'm not even talking Chris Ash anymore. I'm here to talk about these players that are balling. They're balling. 7, 8 deep. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Go over to FanDuel, FanDuel.com. You will find tonight the Kansas City Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite against
Not
those
for long.
lowly Jacksonville Jaguars.
Man, that's.
You will also find. Hey, I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking the truth. You will also find the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as a 22.5-point favorite over the North Carolina State Wolfpack as they come into Notre Dame Stadium. Unfortunately, it is a Peacock only. This is drive up their subscribers each and every season. A Peacock only game. If you have Walmart Plus, Peacock is free with Walmart Plus.
You're about to talk
us into
a division title, SD. You're talking us into a division title. We were just saying playoffs, but the way you speaking about
Wait a minute. Isn't the best quarterback in that division? Isn't the best quarterback in that division in Indianapolis?
Whoa. Do you believe that?
I'm asking you a question. I'm looking at the stats right now. I'm looking at the stats. The stats say that the best quarterback in that division right now resides in Indianapolis.
Joe Burrow had the best stats and the worst team last year. Joe Burrow had the best stats and the worst team last year. So it's a team game, second in the division for a reason.
The Colts are better. The Colts are better right now, right?
We still got games to play with them. So we got to see them.
You just said they were second in the division, right?
We're gonna handle the second runner-up to the Super Bowl tonight. Tonight, the runner-up to the Super Bowl.
You mean the multiple Super Bowl champ? You mean the multiple Super Bowl champs? That's what you mean?
They didn't win in 2025. That's our year. This is our year.
I'm not a betting man. But just for the sake of putting it out there, I'll say it right now.
Listen, what we're gonna do is
Trevor Lawrence
will be home. First pass VIP tickets down there. We bring Chris Ash with us.
To where?
To a home game.
Where?
On Jack Kaiser. Me, you.
Oh, yeah. Because, once the regular season is over, you're right. It's not like we get tickets to a playoff game. You're right. Hook that up. Because it's not like we're going to get tickets to there will be no playoff game. So,
ticket prices going to rise when we get to these division titles.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
You're right. Did Trevor make his reservations for the hotel across the street from the stadium where the Super Bowl is? Because I know Pat did.
Well, he's gonna have to reconsider once we get in tonight because they're gonna be what 1 and 2 and 4.
I know Pat doesn't matter. They're 2-2 right now. If they go to 2-3, that's cool. Let's hear from.
Pat got his hands full tonight, man. So you already spoke us into the division title. Anything else, you're gonna put us in the Super Bowl. So I'm just gonna let you go.
I spoke who into the division title? Who did I speak into the division title? I'm confused. Okay. He got real quiet right there, ladies and gentlemen, because I didn't speak anybody to the division title. Let's hear from Marcus Freeman. Great show. If you got a GTB question, put it in, comment, super chat. We'll get to it. We will. I just talked to KG while we were sitting here. He'll be on the show this week. He said he can do 2 days, so we'll have fun with him. This was Marcus Freeman. This is how he opened, talking about the game and then looking forward to North Carolina State. This is what he had to say.
The film confirmed what I felt Saturday, probably when I met with you all, that it was a tough, hard-fought victory over a really good, fundamentally sound football team. We didn't execute on certain plays that on both in both phases. We didn't execute as well as we all aspire to, but we executed well enough to get the outcome that we wanted. We gotta clean up some of the penalties. That's something that sticks out. Way too many penalties for the team we aspire to be. And I'm not talking about aggressive penalties. I always say there's a difference between aggressive penalties and undisciplined penalties. The undisciplined ones have really been the ones we've been able to prevent the first couple games of the year. But like false starts and offsides and late hit out of bounds, those are selfish penalties, undisciplined penalties that we can't have. And we got to make sure we clean those up with urgency and get back to work and find a way to improve for NC State. 4-2 team that, I think this is Coach Dorn's 13th year, and he's been as successful as anyone during that tenure, that span. I think he's the 5th longest tenured coach in FBS right now. And so he's done a heck of a job. Their offense is very efficient, many weapons. I think their running back, Smothers, number 3, is as good as anyone will see all year. He is a really talented football player, and you better tackle him because if he gets an open space, he can take it all the way. And the quarterback, number 11, Bailey, he's a really good player. Another tall, athletic. Really distributes the ball to many people. I know the tight end, number 7, has gotten the most passes, and he's a problem too. And so we have to have a good defensive plan for what they're going to present. But it'll be another great challenge. Before I really get in their defense, I know their defensive coordinator, DJ Elliott, is expected to be back this week. And following the loss of his daughter Drew, and I think it's important that hopefully he knows and his family knows that they're in the prayers and thoughts of everybody, but especially mine. And so the defense has been dealing with a whole bunch of injuries, as you've seen from week 1 to where they're at. And I know that's probably slowed down a little bit of the progress coming with a new coordinator. But last week they played really well. And I don't care who the opponent is. Like they played well last week, and so their D-line's big. They're gonna bring pressure. They got the pressure from the edges, and we're gonna have the great plan offensively too.
You gotta love Coach Freeman, man. He makes every opponent seem like he really does.
Yeah,
he really does.
And
I do want to say our hearts and prayers go out to Coach Elliott. I can't even imagine or fathom losing a child, bro. I can't even imagine or fathom what that, just in normalcy, what it feels like, but in the midst of responsibilities as a coach, to have to manage family and spouse, and I can only imagine what his heart, the heaviness his heart has, and then the brokenness in his wife. And man, bro, I wouldn't even want to coach, bro. They would have to give me a leave of absence, and I know he took a couple of weeks. I don't know, a couple of weeks. I don't know if that, and I know I would be getting paid to do a job. So hearts and prayers out there to the Elliott family. But Coach Freeman, they just beat Campbell, bro. Campbell. That's who they just beat. And I am not worried about North Carolina State.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
I'm glad he's keeping the squad focused.
He does such a good job of not underselling it as much as you could probably expect. Because, we like to play, we used to like to play to the level of the team we're playing, but Marcus Freeman does a good job of keeping us steady. And that's what this is about. If we're internally challenged, just like I believe Miami is, I think Miami offensively has an identity and they stick to it, right? So they don't waver within the game, where I think this is an identity game. It shouldn't matter who we're playing offensively. We should be able to be who we are and work on the things we need to get better.
Man, look, it's a great thing, an absolutely amazing thing to have this team coming in. I love the challenge that Boise State gave to Notre Dame to grind out a win, stay true to the game plan, show consistent defense for 4 quarters, make plays, impact them, put pressure on the quarterback. Man, calls 4 interceptions. Man, strips, forced fumbles. Like, dude, they were just all over the place. They were playing fast. They were playing aggressive. And they were playing a team that wasn't going to quit. So they had to stay focused. They needed that. And so now you're going into 2 teams with porous defenses, and the running back, North Carolina State, the tight end, and they have some really good wide receivers. So they have the offensive pieces. But the defense is
it's not complete. It's just they're not a complete team to be thinking as if we need to be treating them like Arkansas. I mean, I just think that we need to stop doing that as a fan base and appreciate how we can be even better, even though we're not playing the teams that are equivalent. Because that's the type of morale you need when you're going against a good team, well, a better team, because then you can start looking at the perspectives of what we actually can do instead of what we don't have.
So I'm very interested in how CJ Bailey is going to look against the Fighting Irish. I think it's a bigger challenge for CJ Bailey and their offense to test themselves. I don't think it's much of a test for Notre Dame. Yeah, I think Notre Dame has to limit big plays. If they limit big plays, they'll get the ball back to the Notre Dame offense, and the Notre Dame offense will put points on the board at home. And they'll make North Carolina State one-dimensional. And as I said before, if you make North Carolina State or any team on the rest of the schedule one-dimensional, it's ball game. It's ball game. It's as simple as that. GTB question, Hunter H. How can CJ's deep ball improve? Is it about arm strength, or does he need better arm strength? Go ahead.
I think timing helps. You can release the ball earlier, and then it all becomes about positioning. So it's either a back shoulder, which he did a good job with Malachi Fields in the red zone, or a slot fade where he's got to put on the outside shoulder, or so it's more about precision when it comes to deep balls. As long as he doesn't throw them out of bounds, you have a way higher success chance with the talent we have to come down with it. And he's realizing that as the season goes on, he's finding these guys he can just give a chance to. And so that's how you improve. And, Denbrock is going to keep calling it, and CJ loving that throw is going to keep throwing it and finding ways to throw it. So it's one of those strengths that I think he just develops over time.
Yeah, I think he definitely has just been late, and his placement it's just been a little off, man. Just let it rip. When you get a play like that, man, just let that bad fella go and let the wide receiver go run under. That's so irritating to see a receiver like 3 to 5 yards beyond the defensive backs, and he has to slow down or wait on the ball. Just throw it out there and let him go get it. Just let him go get it. Like, you have big guys that can run, and this tight end for Jolly Kid for North Carolina State, he is a stud. I'm not even gonna lie. Number 7, he's something else. And the Smithers kid, the running back, they have some weapons, man. They have some weapons. I just don't think they're going to have time to throw with their offensive line. And then I just don't think they're going to have the opportunity to be balanced to really do damage.
Yeah.
That's how Miami was effective. They just kept, they ran the ball.
They can run.
Hit you with the play action pass.
Play action, simple routes, and then they got talent. So those talented players take simple and make it spectacular. I mean, number 10, Maliki is doing this thing, but the plays that he's running it's just built off of being able to run the ball. Carson Beck is patient enough to let it go. I mean, they got, they turned out to be a pretty special thing they got going on. I think a lot of it is centered because Cristobal has a great offensive line and their technique of running the football, staying ahead of the chains. Carson Beck being veteran enough to just keep them going. So I still think they don't want to see us in a playoff situation, but that's just me.
I'm going to keep it 100, bro. They look better than anybody else. I would say Miami and Oregon have looked the best to me out of teams I've seen. Miami and Oregon. Ohio State, yeah, I'm going to put Ohio State up there too. Ohio State, shout out to Carnell Tate. Big game from you against Minnesota, boy. Keep doing your thing. Those are the 3 best teams right now, in my opinion. Notre Dame is up to 16th now left? 16th? With a lot of losing left for the teams in front of them. So if Notre Dame runs the table, man, I think their chances of getting to the playoffs.
You better collect them notes. Better get to studying.
Yeah. Brian Hatton, where is Kent Gibbs? First of all,
you better get to studying. I'm telling you, you better get to study and put them notes together, them talking points.
Kenton is working hard. I'll let him tell you he had some great news right before the football season started that kind of filled his schedule up. And I'll let him tell you guys about that. And other than that, he is euphoric about his Detroit Lions right now. The way they smack my Bears, I can't even say anything to them. So it's going to be good to have him back. It's going to be good to have him back. Now, before we get out of here, Left, we have to hear about an added piece, possibly, to the tight end room.
Yep.
And Marcus Freeman talking about short yardage situations. Take a listen.
He started to get a little bit of reps last week in practice. We'll see. We're going to try to add a couple more reps to him in practice to try to work up that capacity of how much he can do in a game. And again, it's the value, right? Like, we need to make sure that when he's back and ready to roll, we can get the most value out of Cooper Flanagan. He would be a huge addition when he's ready, and I don't know if it'll be this week, next week, but he's getting closer. And right now it's just not the injury anymore as much as the capacity to, give us what we need on the football field. But he's an impact player. And so when we're able to get him back, you'll see him out there on the field for sure.
And you guys got stopped on the 4th and goal on the 1-yard line this past weekend. Where are you at in terms of identifying answers in short yardage situations and maybe what hasn't gone right with that so far?
Yeah, that's just an inside joke, but I knew you were going to ask me that. And so, that particular play was a reflection of really, as an offense, and this is something I've learned in my 4 years. Mostly, defense side of the ball, it's all reaction to what you see. On offense, you have to anticipate what you think somebody's going to do. All right? We have to anticipate, okay, what we've seen on film, what we're going to show. This is what we anticipate the defense to do. And they didn't really do what we exactly thought they were going to do. It's not that we never seen that look. They didn't do exactly what we thought they were going to do with the play action we did with that play. And so as you look at it now, looking back at it, you said, let's try to keep it inside. But as we prepared for that, we thought it was going to hit right there in that C-D gap, and there was a lot of people in that C and D gap that we didn't expect to be there. And so, they got us. We got to come back and have a better plan that ensures that we do. Like, it's not okay. I'm not justifying that. That's just what happened. We got to ensure that we have a plan that no matter what they do defensively, that we can score in that situation, and I'm confident we will.
So he's speaking about Cooper Flanagan. For you, I just want to make sure that people know that he was talking about tight end Cooper Flanagan being back practicing and just kind of trying to get acclimated with the playbook before they go ahead and put him into live action. Go ahead, Left, because I know you want to get on this short yardage.
No, yeah, Cooper Flanagan, he said he's an impact player. So, for him to be able to get back in the rotation some way, I mean, it's an added role player that can help us. I mean, we have found a formula to get everybody to football in some way, and get him back in that form would be great. The short yardage is funny. I just think they probably do have a joke about it, because it's like, dude, what are we doing? But a lot of over explaining to say, yeah, we need to be able to execute regardless of what they're doing. And yeah, we're anticipating it's the 1 yard line. Get your best play, your best, toughest run play, and go straight. It's 1 yard. We don't have to anticipate too much. It's going to be a lot of people in every hole. It's the 1 yard line. Like, but I appreciate Marcus Freeman just adding some light to it. I think he agrees it's serious, but at the same time, he's like, look, we can clean that up real quick. We can clean it up. But we probably late nights in the office just theorizing different ways to get it done just because it gets late in the office. That's why I say you guys got to go home sometime.
Truth of the matter is, an easy answer would have been a healthy Keedron Young. That would have been the simplest answer.
Healthy Keedron Young, yeah.
Third and 2, third and 1. Hey, 21. Come on in the game.
Yeah, just let him specialize in that.
Unfortunately, ACL injury in camp. And now Mike Denbrock is out here just throwing darts at plays in the playbook. Like, I'm going to try this one here. I think I'm going to try this one this week.
Yeah, he just hoping things stick. He just love it.
GTB question from my guy Joe 773 Batters. Were you at Illinois when Dana Howard, Kevin Hardy, Simeon Rice were dominating the Big Ten? Oh, the stories I could share. Oh, the stories I could share. Yes, I was there. I spent plenty of time in the house they lived in on 3rd and Stoughton, the 3-level house, and yes, saw many of things. Boy,
Are they beating Ohio State?
Heck, no. No.
What about Michigan? Y'all owe Michigan one.
They beat Michigan last year. Yeah, they beat Michigan last year.
Who was the team out? It was Indiana, I think. Indiana. But either way, we Illinois is good, man. I just think that if they're a top 10 team, we're not far from
it. They're all right. They're all right. They're exactly what they should be in the Big Ten. They're exactly what they should be, Tier 2. They're exactly what they should be. Tier 2 with a chance to scare a few teams in Tier 1. Exactly where they should be. And that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask as an Illinois football fan, bro.
I mean, y'all are celebrating a 9-3 season, so that's good.
They have a chance to win 10 games this year. They have a legitimate shot. Even if they lose to Ohio State, I don't see them losing to anybody else on their schedule. If they lose to Ohio State, that's 2 losses. They can run the table. Be a 2-loss conference team.
That's a playoff team, right? Y'all got to get 4.
Not with that blowout loss to Indiana. Well, no. Left with Penn State dropping out because most people assume Penn State would be one of those top 4 teams. It's pretty much Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana right now. I guess you're right. Illinois would have a shot at being one of those top 4 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Well, I hope we see him.
I guess
Hope we
you're right.
see him there.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Matter of fact, I just talked to Simeon Rice on last week. Unfortunately, he lost his older brother. And his services were so that's when I got a chance to speak to him. Unfortunately, during those circumstances, his older brother passed and the services were last week. So, but
sorry to hear that. By the way,
prayers
you didn't talk about the game, man, from Friday?
Yeah, I'm about to do it now. So I'll give you the long version. Great game. Brother Rice was talking a lot of trash all week long, talking about, they beat Mount Carmel last year, talking about they were going to prove who the best defense was, who the best D-line was. Dude, you know how high school kids, they do it on social media, bro, dancing in the locker room, all that stuff. Unfortunately, they couldn't back it up on the football field. And I think I shared when you asked me who I thought was going to win.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, I just don't think Brother Rice has enough offense. Mount Carmel literally played the same type of offensive game. Penalties, turnovers, just sloppy. Quarterback missed wide open. He missed Quentin Burrell on a double move that was wide open. Just Emmett Dowling had a bad game, and they still won 27-14.
Wow.
Is they're just a better team, bro. They're just a better team this year.
Yeah.
They're just a better team. But it was a great time, man. I talked to coming out of that game. I will say I feel confident coming out of that game that out of the 7 kids, because they recently offered Roman Iguabuike. I said it correctly the third time. Roman Iguabuike, the middle linebacker for Mount Carmel. They offered him Saturday on his visit. Marshawn Thornton, he's a 27 linebacker, 4-star, top 100 kid. Shout out to Max Bullock. Marshawn Thornton, who was the leading receiver in the game, who had 7 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. He visited as well, talked to him. He said it was an amazing visit, absolutely amazing. So I'll be chopping it up with him some more. Talked to Quentin Burrell at length after the game. And QB was pretty much, saying that he's going to make a decision in the springtime. That's when his decision is coming. And
any other recruits do you think in that game fit or can make an impact day one?
The 28 defensive tackle, Caleb Tucker.
They called him, what they call him?
Bruh.
Is he really that big?
You got to see him in person. That's a grown man, bro. 6'3". It was so funny. They subbed him out. So you know how the offense makes a sub and they give you a chance to sub out. And they subbed him out. And they were screaming, "Get off the field." And he starts sprinting at 6'3", 350. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, this dude is 350. I'm like, man, look. I'm like, man. I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah, what you think of the Mark Sanchez thing, by the way? Because oh my goodness, that brother.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not, because I don't. The Mark Sanchez, I pray for him because obviously he has a problem. He has a substance issue.
You gotta have a problem to be doing that.
He has a substance issue. I pray for him. I hope he's able to turn things around. I hope it doesn't end up terminating his career, because I really do think he's pretty good at what he does for CBS. And I'll leave it at that. Dan Dockett should be ashamed of himself, and that's all I'm going to say. The opportunity to take someone else's situation, an unfortunate situation, and use it to perpetuate your personal political ideologies and prejudices, bro, they always told us certain things about the state of Indiana as young kids in Chicago.
Indiana just ain't no joke, man. He just
and my experience has been spending time in Indianapolis, spending time in South Bend, far from what I was told as a kid. But he just perpetuated the narrative
but
that
he
has
the
always
aggressor.
been.
That's why it's like, Mark, come on.
And it's
You-
yeah. I pray my prayers out to Mark Sanchez, and you should be ashamed of yourself, to Dan Dockage. Flat out.
yeah, you 6'3", 230, man. Like that just on a normal day. Nobody's going after that. Nobody's picking out a 6'3", 230 and being like, I want problems in real life with a dude like I just it's just
Nah. It's unfortunate, man. I didn't believe it. I'm like, because immediately I'm like, who walks up and stabs Mark Sanchez?
yeah, nobody is doing that to no big
nobody's doing that. Yeah, no one's doing that.
Not even the most dangerous places is walking up to somebody that big trying to stab him. Like,
And I jokingly to my boy when he texted me the information, I jokingly said, man, did a Colts fan get upset about that playoff loss in the AFC Championship game? I was just joking. I was like, man, maybe a Colts fan recognized them and was still upset about the playoff loss and like went overboard. And then when I found out what happened, I was like, all right, man. Like, okay. Come on. It's ridiculous. Braden Parks, he had a sack and a half, looked amazing. I'll put it out. I feel like Notre Dame leads for Quinn Burrell. It's still going to be a battle, but I think they lead for Tavares Harrington. That's my opinion. I think they lead for Braden Parks. All those are 27 guys, and I think they will surge ahead for Roman Iguabrique in the coming weeks.
Marcus Freeman, did he? I know he was at the game. Did he talk to anybody long or anything?
No, he wasn't at the game. I didn't see him at the game. I know some people. There was some buzz about him possibly being at the game. He wasn't at the game. So, also, funny story, right? So I'm walking off the field, right, after the game, and Cameron McGee, 28 defensive end for Brother Rice, I see him, and by this time I spent like maybe 30 to 40 minutes on the field talking to players, right, catching up with guys. Because I talked to Braden Jones, because these are kids I've been talking to for 2 years. Even if they commit elsewhere. He's committed to USC. Man, met him on the field, chopped it up with him for a little bit, talked to his mom, spoke to his mom, waved, all of that. Then Joey Quinn, who came to Notre Dame's junior day last January, spoke to him and his mom as they walked off the field. So I see Cameron McGee. And I'm like, what's up, Cam? Good game. Like, man, I can catch up with Cam. He's a 28 kid. I can catch up with him another time. Because he was talking to some other guys. And looked like family members and friends. And all of a sudden, this guy grabs me. He's like, yo. He's like, you cover Notre Dame? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. All right. Introduced himself. Yeah, I'm like, that's what's up. And he was like, yeah, I represent Cam. I represent Cam McGee. And I was like, you represent him?
Oh.
He was like,
you fishing for interviews?
Like, yeah. I was like, you represent him? He was like, yeah. Now, he's literally an NFL agent because we, as you can say,
The high school
we
game?
had first. This is what I'm saying, Left. This is what I'm saying. We had a conversation. We exchanged information. We caught up yesterday. Good dude, Chicago dude, went to Fenwick High School, played for Coach Bob Diaco. That was another conversation. He played for Coach, but Diaco recruited him to Connecticut when he was the head coach. So, and one of his good friends is Miles Boykin.
Miles Boykin?
So, man, Miles Boykin, because Miles was at the game this weekend.
Yeah, he went to Carmel,
or
he went to. He went to.
No, he was in South Bend this weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay,
yeah. Miles is in South Bend because the Bears were on a bye this week. So I saw Zach Martin was back in the house too this weekend. So long story short, bro. Yeah, this sophomore has a representative. I was just messed up. I was like,
yeah, I don't know what you do with that.
I was like, but I will say this. Super cool dude. You know how you're around some guys and you get like a greasy.
Basketball's doing. Basketball got NBA agents in 8th grade, you know.
Yeah.
Catching up.
Super cool dude. I didn't get greasy vibes or anything like that. Honest. You know, talked about a lot of Chicago kids, not just kids concerning Notre Dame. So, man, made a good connect. And then I hooked them up with my boy who just got his certification for sports and entertainment for wealth management. So it was like almost divine. Like my boy literally just got his certification for wealth management for sports and entertainment. And I meet this guy that's a Chicago-based NFL agent. I linked them. So, man, I was like, yo, this was divine. This was divine. You saw me talking to your guy. So it was all in all a great weekend. Notre Dame, in my opinion, leads for 4 kids that played in that game. 4 kids that played in that game on Saturday night. And all of them are in the 27 class. Brian Hackett, GTB question. I'm assuming, can you get him to commit on here when he does commit? I don't know who you're talking about. Which kid? I can definitely try for you. All right, Left, you want to laugh? Here you go. On the way out, fans. Spencer Danielson talking about the game. You tell me, is he speaking truth or is he a little bit
embellishing?
Yeah. Here he is.
To win. And that's what everybody says after they lose the game, but I really did feel that way. I'm proud of how our team battled tonight. I feel way different than after lost to game 1 of the season against South Florida, where I felt like we didn't at times. Tonight, I really felt like we battled. I felt like our team never quit, even though some, obviously some self-inflicted stuff happened in regards to penalties or, mistakes on our end that we got to fix. But I'm proud of our guys battling. I'm proud of them never quitting. Proud of them, even on the sideline, man, there was no pointing fingers. I didn't see anybody start, quitting. They glued together. I believe where there's unity, God commands a blessing. Our team stay close. We just got to find a way to execute better. I mean, in a game, when you have 4 turnovers, I don't care who you're playing, especially a top 10 team like Notre Dame, you're not gonna win. And so we got to protect the football. We moved the football really well offensively today, or we had our moments, but we can't have penalties that put us behind the sticks. We got to find a way to get open in man coverage more consistently, and we got to make sure we don't turn the ball over. Defensively, we just gave up too many explosive runs, and it came down to tackling. Sometimes up front we were off. Sometimes our defensive line got reached, and linebackers weren't fast enough to fit. We got to get off blocks at linebacker, and we got to do a better job tackling. There were times in the game we did a good job. We knew these 2 tailbacks were really good, but we got to tackle better. I know we've talked about that a lot. We got to continue to find ways to get ball carriers on the ground. And there's a couple critical 3rd downs on defense that that we got to make sure we get off the field, especially with an explosive offense. I mean, that's one of the top offenses in the country, and we were doing a good job. We got to get off the field on third down.
Coach.
Coach. He
This
killing me.
game was never. No. This game was never in question. When you went up 7-6, this game was never in question. There was never a moment in South Bend, in that stadium, where anyone felt like, and if they did, they should be ashamed of themselves, or they just weren't watching the game.
They just wasn't watching the game.
Coach, I love the hope. I love it. I love the hope. I love the optimism. I love your spirit. I love who you are as a man of God. But starting your comment out with we had a real chance to win that game, no.
Yeah, you living in a delusion now.
No.
You never had a chance.
Coach, Notre Dame had 2 fourth-down touchdowns right there. Will Paul, your defensive backs were nowhere near Will Paul. Nowhere near. Like, what are we talking about? You were lucky to be close. You were outplayed that bad early in the game that you were lucky to only be down 6-0. Lucky. And if he really feels like they were right there, and then to say you're right there and then list the multitude of things that you couldn't do, we got to do a better job stopping the run. Our defensive line kept getting reached. Our linebackers weren't getting off blocks. We didn't tackle well. That's a whole lot, Coach, to be right there. It's a whole lot. We can't turn the ball over 4 times. Well, who calls the turnovers, Coach? It's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot.
We got to do better. We got to do better getting off man-to-man coverage.
It's a whole
lot. So now the DBs had you blanketed like that. That's a whole lot, Coach Davidson. A whole lot.
A lot of ground to make up.
You have to
like it's just so easy.
Yes. That's a lot of ground to make up when you had a shot to win the no, Coach. And you had the refs in your back pocket. On top of that.
Oh man, the refs came on the plane with you.
You had the refs. The refs were in your back pocket.
The refs were so bad you couldn't even you had to walk away because you thought there was too much collusion. You was like, I had to walk away. It's crazy.
Like, no, Coach. No. That's why I say I love his spirit. And I love the hope that he's trying to give his team. Love it. Totally understand it. Somebody in the chat said the Boise State podcast are talking about they were 1 or 2 plays away. From what? Being blown out by 35?
From what?
1 or 2 plays away from what? Another 14 points being hung on your defense? What 1 or 2 plays were you away from?
The Jadarian Price run alone for a touchdown. That's a whole lot to fix before you start talking about 1 or 2 plays. That play right there just shows how far y'all away.
Man, I love him though, man. I do. I love him. He's the right guy for Boise State, bro. You know, in the midst of that press conference, he was like, we keep getting these opportunities to win these types of games, and we haven't done it. And that's on me. And we got to find a way to do it. Yeah, we haven't done it. It's on me. And we had, then this is what he said. He's like, because we have enough. We had enough on this roster to win this game. I said, Coach, no.
Coach,
no, Coach.
Stop it.
No, Coach. No. Maddox Matson is not coming into Notre Dame Stadium winning a game, Coach. No. If you have a program like Boise State, you need a first or second round quarterback to beat these type of teams. That's when you get the upsets. That's when you get the upsets. Now I know Jared Zabransky beat Oklahoma in the bowl game, Fiesta Bowl. I understand that. Statue of Liberty, all of that. But more than likely, if you're going to New Rockney, what are you talking about, dog? Just stop. I had to calm you down just about every other show. What are we talking about? Now you're making up stuff. What pick sixes? What are we talking about? They were thoroughly outplayed. Watch the game. I don't care how many times you watch the game. They were thoroughly outplayed. Thoroughly. They were lucky to be in the game. The game was never in doubt, and the game was never close. They went up 7-6, and Notre Dame immediately walked right back down the field, and they had been walking up and down the field the entire first half. They just didn't convert. And they did the same thing in the second half to the tune of 21 points, and they should have had another 14 points on the board. Like, we just got to stop it. Spencer Danielson, I love you, bro. I love you, dude. I love you. I love you because you got a full season in front. The Mountain West is still up for grabs for your squad. It was a playoff elimination game, in my opinion, for you guys. You know, with the 2 losses that you have, I don't think you really have a shot of getting in, even if you win the Mountain West. But no, he's not lying to his players. I wouldn't even characterize it as lying to his players. He's not lying to his players. He's telling them what he should tell them. If we clean this up, guys, like, you know, we were in there for a while. We fought hard. If we clean up the penalties and the turnovers, we give ourselves a better chance. And we'll be right. We would have been right there at the end. That's absolutely what he should be telling his guys. He should be telling his guys that. He should be telling his guys that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't consider that lying. He's using the game to get their attention, to focus that if they do what they can do and do it right, they're going to have a chance and they're finally going to get over the hump. And he's giving them hope to keep pushing them forward. So I wouldn't call it a lie. Embellishment? Maybe. I wouldn't just flat out call him a liar, though. I just thought, I was like, man, that's cute. That's really cute. But then he did a PSA on Notre Dame. I love this. He had great things to say about Notre Dame.
Good job in their man coverage. It was hard for even with some shifts, some motions. They did a good job locking on. We didn't have a lot of guys running free. And hats off to their defensive scheme. They did a good job. And we were able to move the ball a little bit. And then good job by the time we got open in man coverage, their front was able to get home. And great plan by Coach Ash, Coach Freeman. I mean, they did a really good job.
They had 4 sacks today, too.
Yeah.
Was the pass rush and kind of the more increased blitzing something that you guys were expecting coming in? Yeah,
I mean, they had their switch ups for us, which every good team will, and they did a good job of their defensive plan. But it's a trickle down effect, right? If no one's open downfield, that's going to give time for the rush to get home, and they worked really well together as a defense.
So Notre Dame fans, Spencer Danielson is impressed with Chris Ash in the game plan. Impressed. They switched it up. They showed us things we didn't expect. They did different things than what we saw on film and what we saw we could take advantage of. We tried to get open on shifts and motions and stacks. And man, when we did get opportunities to get guys open, our quarterback couldn't get the ball off because he was under pressure, suffered 4 sacks.
Yep.
So, and Spencer Danielson was impressed with Chris Ash on Saturday.
Hey,
I guess we can give him
credit. We got to, man.
We can give him a little credit, I guess, left. A little.
Just a little bit. I mean, good grief.
Yeah,
the man just got here, man. The man just got here. But it is bright for the future. I think us cleaning up the little stuff now is going to be better for when we get to these playoffs, because the way it's looking in, I think we'll make it just due to the fact that the people above us can't stay there. You know, they're losing the games they shouldn't every week. So it's going to be interesting.
I agree with you, Lef. As you look at it now, the way things have played out, because people were mad. Oh, Notre Dame in previous weeks, Notre Dame's only moved up one spot. I will say this, man, look, Penn State should not be ranked.
No.
Argue with your mama.
Yeah. They're done.
Argue with your mama. They shouldn't be ranked.
They
lost to the worst, one of the worst teams in college football. They should not be ranked. How is Penn State at 3-2 and Memphis at 6-0? How is Memphis 25th and Penn State is 22nd? How?
Especially
How
with the
is
loss.
Texas 3? How is Texas 19th?
How?
Explain this to me. How?
This is that
collective
bargaining. This is what happens when those conferences where they complain about having a certain amount of teams in there. Does it affect the rankings? Where they, they got to keep the rankings.
Texas Tech is looking really good. LSU has some more losses coming. Georgia Tech has a loss coming. Missouri has some losses coming.
Yep.
Indiana might have another loss coming soon.
They got Ohio State loss coming.
I don't know. That Ohio State loss might be later in the season.
Last year was
but the team, everybody in front of Notre Dame outside of Texas Tech,
Oregon,
and Texas Tech, everybody plays one another. That's my point. Everybody in front of Notre Dame plays each other outside of Georgia Tech and Texas Tech. The Big Ten and the SEC play one another. So they feast on each other and knock each other out of playoff spots over the next 6-7 weeks. It is what it is. Notre Dame is sitting pretty at 16, and they just need to take care of business and win out.
Yeah, we just got to win out. If we win out ranking stuff now, we should make it.
But man, yeah, Penn State being in this coaches poll, bro, is a joke. Texas being in the coaches poll is absolutely insanity, bro. That's insanity.
Yeah, because Steve Sarkisian came on the podium and said we need to develop better. We need to do more. We're not that good right now.
Sounds like a bunch of excuses to me, bro. Especially when you have 2 top 5 recruiting classes the last 2 years. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, bro. Nope. You had the next great one at quarterback on your squad. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. You got NFL talent up and down the defensive line. Don't want to hear it. And can we stop this? James Franklin is a better head coach than Marcus Freeman talk.
When did they start saying that?
Oh, that was last year. He was like ranked ahead of Marcus Freeman when they did the top 10 coaches in college football. They had him ranked ahead of Marcus Freeman. And I'm like, how?
They're not gonna let go of James Franklin. He
realize
the school system.
His buyout is $49 million. Somebody's gonna have to come up with that 49. Who are they going? $49 million is the buyout, bro.
How did they allow it to get that crazy?
Because they just gave him a new contract.
$49 million.
Amen. And they just put a bunch of money into Beaver Stadium. So I don't know if people are going to be willing to ante up again. I don't know. But shout out to Virginia. Shout out to Virginia. Big win against Louisville. Coach Elliott kind of redeeming himself. And they went through a tragedy last year. So that program and what they've been able to do, incredible. Incredible. Michigan, they didn't look good, bro. They just don't look good. They just don't. They don't. Young quarterback.
Just looks young.
Yeah, Justice Haynes is doing his thing, though. Justice Haynes doing his thing. Texas Tech looks like they're the cream of the crop out there in the Big 12.
Alabama
and
looking
let's
solid.
see. Alabama looking what?
Solid.
Nah, dog. That squad, bro. Do you realize Vanderbilt? Dude, Alabama put up 3 field goals in the second half to win that game.
It's a good game. Vanderbilt's not bad anymore. Shout out Elko.
Would Vanderbilt be favored against Notre Dame?
Come on now. I love Josh Allen.
Okay then. Yeah, Josh is coaching over there. He sure is.
Coaching the running backs, man.
He is coaching the running backs over there. He has a pretty good running back, too. Broke off a couple of nice runs against Alabama in the first half.
That first half, yeah.
Yeah, that Diego Pavia magic kind of
He ain't Johnny Manziel, I'll tell you that.
No, sir. I think we've seen that Texas A&M's offense is kind of
tapered off.
Hit or miss. Yeah, it's tapered off, kind of hit or miss. They did get loose a little bit late against Mississippi State. We find out about Indiana this week against Oregon. Oklahoma, they don't have their quarterback. Yeah. And I would rank Miami second over Oregon. They're in the top 20 of the AP. They are ranked second. That's where they should be.
Miami's playing really good, man. I can't even lie to you. They're playing really good.
They are. You have to give them credit. They're darn good football. Hey, man. Yo, as much as we went at Anthony Knapp and Emil Wagner, Messidor and Bain are giving it to everybody.
Yeah.
And every tackle that has faced Miami has received the business.
Absolutely. It was playing the highlights all day against Florida, just killing them. Like
killing Florida State's tackles, bro. Killing them. And it's been like that every week. And I'm like, man, maybe we should extend some grace.
I mean, they had them looking crazy, though. They had our tackles looking crazy. But that's the less of the problem.
Man, they had us doing the rockaway, boy. They had Emil Wagner leaning back.
Leaning back. Real bad. Man.
That Emil Wagner at the snap was doing the rockaway, boy.
Yo, like
that's wild.
Yeah. But we see they do that to everybody, so we don't feel as bad.
Man. Great show today, man. We had fun talking. Ken Gibbs. Don't forget, players only tomorrow. We gave you a free episode last week. This week is going to be back exclusive at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Tap in over there, subscribe, and I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy the content. I'm going to have some guys out of Chicago area from off season. Man, they're a new dope brand covering Chicago sports on the high school level. They were there with me at the Carmel Brother Rice game on Friday. Got a chance to chop it up with them. They're going to be on Prep Star recruiting with me this week. That's going to be over at Patreon. So tap in over there. And it's already some wide receivers in the portal. I did find out this weekend that there are already some wide receivers in the portal.
Free agents.
Reaching out to Notre Dame about next year. Notre Dame is becoming a hot spot. That cat CJ has the block hot. Right now
Finally.
when it comes to wide receivers wanting to come to South Bend. So that's a great thing. Yeah, Left. Great show, bro. Absolutely amazing show. So for everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, Left.
Same time.
Same time. Mario Dunlap, our boy, says Malik needs to talk about some food.
Oh, we got it. We got it coming up. Don't even worry. But
What did you eat for the game?
Had me just a nice bacon burger classic from the Burger Boys. Nice little in-town spot.
Bacon.
Gotta try it.
Bacon burger. Okay. All right. You kept it light.
Kept it light.
For Left SD2 mics, man, we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Lucky Lefty Podcast and Players Only. Go tap in over at Patreon. Make sure you continue to spin it different.